Well, King Cove is a small city near the Aleutian Islands. It has been thrust into the national spotlight within recent months due to its need for a life-saving road. The fight is now on between the Alaskan community and the federal government. Last night, we introduced you to the city and the need for the connector road between King Cove and Cold Bay. Tonight, we hear from residents. KTBY's Whitney Miller joins me now with part 2 of our special series, The Fight for King Cove. Whitney.
Well, Lindsay, tonight we hear from a woman who almost lost her life trying to get out of the city to deliver her child. Her touching story is one like many residents in the community who have faced near-death emergency situations.
More than likely, I would have died and my daughter would be here, but not both of us.
Etta Kazakin went into labor on March 14, 2013, and like many days in King Cove, Alaska, weather was not cooperating. Etta is required to deliver by cesarean section.
Because I have what they call a T incision inside of me, and if my babies get down that far, it could cause the incision to rupture and kill both the baby and me.
At 8:01 that morning, Etta Kazakin walked into the clinic ready to have her third child.
Poof, I was in the emergency room. People were being called. You know, they were looking at weather. It was pitch black outside. There wasn't anything they could do.
Nothing they could do because the city's clinic is not equipped to handle deliveries. Her only option? Travel 600 miles north to Anchorage. By 9:30, Etta was in full-blown labor and commercial planes were no longer an option.
The clinic started looking for alternatives. They started calling to see if there was a boat going over. Of course, their first call was to MedLife to see if they could get all the way into King Cove, and of course the winds aloft were too high for their planes. They couldn't get in here.
Running out of time, health aides contacted the Coast Guard, who said they did not have any crews in the vicinity.
She called, and she called again, and she called again. I mean, you know, I knew then that there was something wrong. And
at 1 p.m., nearly 5 hours later, a Coast Guard helicopter doing a practice run in the area agreed to help. And the 12-minute ride to Cold Bay, terrifying.
It's gripping your seat, grinding your teeth, and praying to Almighty that you get there.
Once in Cold Bay, Etta was flown to Anchorage, where she gave birth.
I knew that I was more than likely going to be having that, you know, having my daughter on that bed, and you know.
But to have her on that bed means
death. But I would have had her. I would have. There would have been no doubt in my mind that I would have died for her. Not even a minuscule, because that's what moms do.
For 25 years, Benita Babcock, a community health aide at the local clinic, has seen critical patients in need of a way out.
I've been here with people that have had busted open fractures, you know, with their bones sticking out of their leg.
During a medevac situation, it's all hands on deck, even when the clinic is understaffed.
It's not easy. For me, I'm related to most of the people in this community, and I love the people here. Unless you're sitting there in the emergency room with that patient for hours and hours and hours and hours, waiting for a plane or waiting for the Coast Guard, you can't know how tough it is.
Oh, shut it then. Oh, goodbye.
How do you look at her and say that you're not worth it? How do you look at children and at our elders and at me and tell me that I'm not worth it?
Fighting for the road to Cold Bay has become a priority for Etta and many in the community.
I'm a person and I'm a mom, and I would have had to say goodbye to my 2 girls and never meet that one because of a small strip of road that is already there.
Well, tomorrow night we sit down with Senator Lisa Murkowski as we explore what happens next for the people of King Cove. Lindsay?
All right. Thank you very much, Whitney.